The adage says that parting is sweet sorrow, for which I've always said, who says it is necessary to part? On this occasion, as you set out to make your first steps in your life's journey, I have some interesting things to say to you and no sentiments of sorrow. Think of it. You've spent these years on our campus and you're now taking your first steps into the outside world. You've waited a long time for this moment, and so I wish to speak to you on two things in these moments. One is about being in the moment, and two is about energy. First, being in the moment. You will hear a lot on this from all the great spiritual teachers and whittle down to one thing. It is just means be here, be now, and do yourself a favor. Don't live in the past nor in the future. This is the great art of spending your time on earth. And there is no skill more important than this one. The amazing this is that we are so dependent on the past of our self-image and so dependent on the future for our self-sustenance that we are incapable of even beginning the imagination that would help us get here. We cannot allow ourselves to be robbed of this thing. Indeed, the entire human organism conspires to make it possible. Our heart beats only one beat at a time, no more, no less. When called to beat slower, it complies, and when called on to beat faster, it will not refuse. Your brain thinks one thought at a time, if you actually notice. And the misunderstanding that we think many thoughts at a time comes from the experience of having many emotions at a time. So, as you can see, your very physical nature leans towards the here and now. Great possibilities open up when we are practiced in the now. We can see what of the past is irrelevant and what of the future is relevant. Unable to make this distinction, most humans hurtle from one catastrophe to the next. We can delude ourselves into believing that we are on the path when we are actually off the path and stumbling through a thicket. Being in the moment allows us to gather our senses, focus our energies, and drop the unnecessary things. And who doesn't want to be free enough to move forward? The second thought I want to share is about energy. Be a masterful manager of your energy. Learn your energy because it is very unique to you. Don't blindly accept the common troops. Maybe we say, I'm a morning person, I'm an afternoon person, I'm an evening person. Find out for yourself what your specific individual energy is. And then study it, practice it, and perfect it. You need mental, emotional, and spiritual energy to get through life. All of these will be challenged. For example, what is the 21st century working arrangement? 8 hours of sitting in front of a computer that fries your face with radiation. Pay attention especially to interpersonal energies. Identify the people that expand your energy and the ones who deplete it. Cultivate the first, limit the second. There will be numerous situations that will compel you to associate with people of toxic energy. Many of you will find yourself working alongside or reporting to individuals of substandard energy. Learn to circumvent those people gently, graciously, and not to get locked into a confrontation with them. And when you find people with complementary or inspiring energies, learn to cultivate their association. Above all, learn to make your energies prevail. Let your energy be the very best in the room, whatever room you are in. In other words, be the solution, not the problem. Whenever possible, be the instrument of the answer and don't lose track of the fact that you must always ask the right questions. Never forget that the clever person knows the answers, but the right person knows the questions. In closing, I wish to remind that you may depart from the campus of this institution, but you will never depart from our hearts. You are the most cherished accomplishment, and we will be watching and wishing you well. Educating you for your days on earth is the purpose for which this institution exists. And every single day of your life will test and prove what you absorbed here. So we are deeply invested in your welfare, and you will always be in our prayers. I wish you Godspeed and good luck.